Once you have the rule of law, then you have the conditions for free exchange. And this is where a lot of people, including a lot of Christians, get confused, because we assume that any trade between two people must involve a winner and a loser. So if some person is getting richer, that means somebody somewhere else is getting poorer. I mean, this was at least the kind of stereotype of the Occupy Wall Street movement, was that 1% of the population is fabulously wealthy and presumably leaving the 99% of the rest of us to sort of live on our own with the meager scraps that are left. That's the sort of general attitude. The question is, are there types of exchanges that aren't like that aren't zero sum, right? That's a zero sum game myth. It just means that trade, by definition, requires that there be a winner and a loser. And this is a term from game theory, and a zero sum game is like a win-lose game. It just means the logic of the game requires that if there's a winner, there's got to be a loser. And that's actually how most of our games are, right? If you play chess or checkers or football, the logic of the rules require that there be a winner and a loser. The question is, are there economic arrangements where that's not true? I mean, you can have a win-lose or zero-sum game, right? You can have a lose-lose game, and that'd be a game where everybody ends up worse off than they were when they started, right? We don't tend to play those games.
Right.
But then there are also win-win games, and win-win games are just games in which everyone that plays ends up better off than they would have been if they hadn't played. It doesn't mean everybody ends up equally well off, right? If I walk into a room with 5 other people, I come out with $100, somebody comes out with 1,000, somebody comes out with $1 million. We're all better off, right, than when we went in the room, presumably, if somebody just handed us the money. But there are others that are better off than I am. It's still a win-win game. That's the sort of essential thing to understand, is that when you have the setting, when you have the context for free exchange, what you do is you set up opportunities for win-win exchanges. I mean, we experience this constantly every day. If I go get my hair cut, I only will get my hair cut and pay the barber, right? If I value the haircut more than I value the money it's going to cost to get the haircut. And she's not going to cut my hair unless she values the money over the time it takes to cut my hair. That's a win-win. It's not like a poker game where you walk in, and somebody maybe ends up with all the money and you walk out a loser. Or if you go into a grocery store. When you go into a grocery store, the grocer's not standing there saying, let's play rock, paper, scissors, and if you lose, you give me your money, right? I mean, you go, you leave money, and you return with groceries.